New Orleans seems to be getting most of the attention now, but people, and a lot of them, are still waiting for help in Mississippi tonight.
Today, crews pulled more bodies from the rubble, and there is an estimate tonight from the officials that the death toll may reach 1,000. Fox 13's Mark Wilson is in Biloxi with more on the situation tonight. There, Mark.
Kelly, it is grim. Bodies still being found in places like you see here behind me. For those who survived, fuel is critically short. Some people going so far as to siphon gasoline from lawnmowers and boats. In some cases, lawnmowers and boats they don't even own. The relief effort is slow, so the suffering grows. But tonight, so too does the goodwill. An open spigot offers the first taste of water. For some, the first bath in days. Essentials are available, but in most cases are miles from those who have nothing at all.
We're trying to get gas. We're trying to get out of here, but we can't. We can't go anywhere.
But Kathy Vines hasn't let that stop her. She's traveled over 100 miles to bring ice and water to her storm-ravaged neighbors. You got a great spirit about you. Why you want to help so much?
Because God put me here to help. I know it's hard.
And her grief is nowhere more evident than on the coast.
7 of them at the hospital. 6 of my friends are dead.
Here, a team of Florida Fish and Wildlife officers and about 60 firefighters from the Tampa Bay area sift through what were once lives and homes. And even though they thought their window of opportunity had closed, they are still finding reasons to smile here in Biloxi. In fact, the rescue team from Florida has already found, just in the past 2 days, 5 survivors in rubble just like this.
Makes them real positive and gives them this energy and the strength to go on and keep on looking.
While that happens, Kathy will keep at it as well, even though she hasn't heard from her own husband, who didn't evacuate. All this while you have potential losses of your own.
It's okay. God will take care of me. I'm sorry.
A selfless guardian angel flying in a storm of despair. Truly an inspiring woman, and there are so many others just like her. As far as the other survivors here, keep in mind thousands and thousands of the people who live here rely on the gaming industry for their unemployment. And of course, with all the casinos ravaged and closed down as they are, most estimate it will be at least 6 months before some of them open. Those who live there are looking at being without jobs for 6 months or more at this point. So the situation remains extremely critical for those who survived and those still looking for loved ones. Kelly?
All right. Thank you so much, Mark.
Let's take a moment now to recap the latest developments along the Gulf states. Right now, the death toll in Mississippi, where Mark is.
Hurricane Katrina has now reached 126 as more rescue teams spread out to search for the living. State emergency officials there say that 882,000 homes are still without electricity. In hard-hit places like Biloxi, the residents that have homes won't have power for weeks. Gas is also in short supply in this area. Fox 13's Mark Wilson joins us now live from Biloxi. Mark, have you seen the aid now starting to arrive in that area yet?
We have seen that. Food and ice and water has come in this afternoon. Some people saying they would have liked to have seen that earlier in the week. We also spoke with some utility workers who said that there's a good chance they could have power restored in some parts of this city within a couple of days. That's certainly good news, but still keep in mind, search and rescue crews are still going through debris piles like this one, still finding bodies. Tonight for you, we have a tale of two emotions, one of elation and wonder, another of heartbreak and worry. Among the thousands of Mississippi coastal residents looking for clothes, pictures, mementos, Andrea and Ricky Richards are looking for something else. They're looking for their 2 small children.
Decided that it'd be best to let the grandparents take the kids, you know, and go way up north with them.
They would feel better having, you know.
And now we have no word on where they are or even if they're alive.
I'm their mother. I need to be with them. I know my dad took good care of me, and I know he could take good care of my kids, but I thought they were going to be going like 24 hours. I didn't imagine this.
Ida Punzo and her neighbors couldn't have imagined it either, but her tale of Katrina is a different one. She and 3 of her neighbors rode out the storm in this 135-year-old house.
Talk about surreal. in your face, and you watch that water come up. You're going, okay, we're gonna die, but let's not panic.
They figured with 3 floors they'd be fine until the water kept on coming. By the time they were forced up to the 2nd floor, they realized they were in trouble. But by the time they were forced up another floor, the 3rd floor, that's when Ida asked one of her neighbors if he had a gun.
He said, no, why? I said, well, it'd be easier to shoot ourselves than to drown.
But they survived, only to watch several of their neighbors swept away in a wall of debris.
There are houses, cars, bodies, trees, and bodies. Too many bodies.
And the Richards are among the many who hope no one else will be found beneath the rubble.
We'll make it through all of this. We will. I just pray to God that my kids are safe.
A lot of people are thinking about them, thinking about so many others as well. And with every debris pile we come across, we find one story after another. This happened to be an apartment building. We understand 5 bodies have already been pulled just from this rubble pile right here. But at least on a better note, Kelly, we understand that 3 people were found here still alive. We understand they are recovering. But it is story after story like this we found in Gulfport over the past few days, and tonight, Biloxi.
Mark, help us understand how far inland from the Gulf is that total devastation? Is it blocks? Is it a mile? How far is it?
It's really difficult to imagine unless you're here, and that's why it's important to characterize this as a water event. This was not by any means, none of this was caused by wind. Where I'm standing right now, I'm about 150 yards from the Gulf of Mexico. So you have US 90 right there, and all of these homes, apartment buildings, hotels, they were all facing the Gulf. The Beau Rivage is just about 200 yards from me. Now this wall of water, keep in mind, was 25 feet tall. That actually came back about 3 blocks. So you have 3 blocks from the coastline of complete devastation, and then it goes down, de-escalates from there.
All right. Thank you so much, Mark. We'll talk to you soon.
Bodies are starting to pile up now at the morgue in hard-hit Harrison County, where 40 bodies have been brought now. Fox 13's Mark Wilson is in Gulfport tonight. Well, how's it going, Mark?
Well, we're doing okay. We're doing a lot better than a lot of these folks are here in these parts. Day 2 of the aftermath here in Gulfport has yielded very little towards rebuilding. We did find a search and rescue team today from South Florida, and they are finding much of what we have found over the past few days. A few stories of survival, but so many more stories of loss. As firefighters from Miami-Dade maneuver through the overwhelming debris,
okay, 1st floor, come on, Ramla.
They find far more bodies than survivors.
It's one of those disasters I think you could really only say it's biblical proportions.
90-year-old Marie Cooper was nearly in need of rescue.
Yeah, the water was about.
Her son saved her life, though, propping her up on a mattress, oxygen tank and all, while the water surged into their apartment.
I was lying down on it, and he wouldn't let me move around and get up. He said, Mother, lie still.
At the very height of it, I was going like this.
Then the water began going down.
Not before ravaging the Gulfport coast, though, obliterating home after home.
It tore out the whole front of my house. We lost everything. Stuff.
Even well-built businesses, such as this motel, were no match for Katrina. And as I step away from what used to be the elevator shaft here, I step out and there's not much more of where this hotel used to be, but I did notice a driver's license, a wallet here, an ID belonging to a gentleman who lived on Long Beach, Mississippi, which is not far from here, where they had catastrophic damage as well. It may be weeks before we know whether he made it out alive. And the FEMA relief machine is now helping those who survived, though most have heavy losses.
We lost our home. We have nowhere to go. People jump in. Nowhere. We're homeless.
And given the news coming back from search teams, the local coroner may have one of the hardest jobs ahead. And to add to all the frustration, we had another near 100-degree day when you factor in the heat index. And given all that's going on in New Orleans, a lot of people here feel like they're kind of being forgotten about. Not to say that they certainly don't need help in New Orleans, but Some people say FEMA was slow to respond here today, and communication, of course, is still virtually impossible unless you have a satellite phone. And that extends not only to the storm victims, but even the rescue workers. One police officer from the town of Gulfport came frantically running up to us earlier and said, "Do you guys have a sat phone? Do you have a sat phone? I've got to call my wife. She was supposed to have our baby yesterday." He couldn't find out whether he had his baby or not because he sent her out of harm's way up in Birmingham, and naturally we were able to help him out. We helped him make that phone call, and fortunately he has not missed the birth of his baby yet.
That's good, Mark. Do you get any idea of when these people there where you are in Gulfport are going to feel like they've begun to recover here, or is it still in the assessment stage?
They're frankly still in the searching stage, and that's what is so disturbing about this, is that we're in the downtown area. We're about a block or so away from the water, and there are no bulldozers. There's no one picking up debris. We still literally have to clear the roads to move through.